Hi everyone, I'm Marla Miller from marlamiller.com, presenting Marketing the Muses Quick Query Critiques. This is our 77th Quick Query Critique, and this one comes from an author who I met last weekend at the Southern California Writers Association. They invited me down to speak at their monthly meeting, I believe it is, and boy, it's a great group of writers who really remind me of kind of the old school way that we used to meet on weekly or monthly bases. They meet at a restaurant and then they have lunch, and so they have part of the meeting before lunch and part after. It's very well run and I really enjoyed myself. So to all my new subscribers to marlamiller.com that come from the Southern California Writers Association, thank you very much. And in fact, this is a letter from one of you. What I do is when I get asked to speak, I will do a quick query critique session and then invite those who critiqued their, who read their letter for the critique to resubmit if they would like to get more feedback. And I offer that service free to them for the first time. So even though this is the second time that I've heard this letter, it's the first time that I'll be critiquing it at Marketing the Muse. So here we go. Okay, dear blank. When a group of teenage boys engage in a secret nighttime mission to save the wildlife in a canyon, they discover a bully's secret, and now they're next on his list to be murdered. Brian Coulter is a bully. Everyone knows that. Everyone also knows that he probably offed his ex-wife Veronica and the driver of a rare muscle car buried in the canyon's hardpack behind his house. The rumor is that Coulter buried Veronica and Jacob Barnes in Barnes's boss 429. When a neighbor begins trapping raccoons and encourages other neighbors to do the same, the boys plan a nighttime cage raid. Everything goes well until Coulter almost discovers them in his yard, and the only place for them to hide is in his shed. There they find Jacob and Veronica's love letters, a revolver, and a single key etched with the word Ford. Armed with evidence that they can put Coulter away for life, they wait to make their escape. But with one wrong move, they're caught. Now they're in a race for their lives through the dark canyon, and Coulter wants their blood. I'm a wellness columnist for the San Pedro Today magazine and freelance wellness writer for blank. In 2009, I received an honorary mention in the 78th Annual Writer's Digest Writing Competition for a racy adult literary short story called Blank. I'm a 5-year member of Blank, a writer's critique group, as well as a storyteller at Blank, a monthly event that is stylized after Blank. Cage Raiders is my 65,000-word YA adventure suspense novel about friendship, family, and courage. I'd be delighted to send the full manuscript for your review, and I thank you for your time. Sincerely. Okay. So what do I think of this? Well, I'll keep my glasses on for this one. Okay. I won't tell you what the query read like on last Saturday when we critiqued it in the group, but I will tell you that this is an improvement, so good on you. Definitely an improvement from the last one, but we still have some reworking to do. The author says that this is a YA suspense novel. Cool, but if it's going to be YA, then it has to follow the YA criterion, which is the narrator of the story or the protagonist of the story has to be a young adult. That's why it's YA. You can have adults in it, but the driver of this story has to be a young adult. Number one. Number two, we have to know who that is, who's telling this story. So even though this writer is getting closer to where she wants to be with this query letter, I don't know who the protagonist is. Do you? I know all about the bully, Brian Coulter. In fact, he threatens to steal every mini scene that he's in, which is good because the conflict between the protagonist and the antagonist, I remember being told this in a workshop, I think by Barney Conrad, that a good antagonist should always be threatening to steal the scene away from the protagonist. And so I think that she has created a bully, an antagonist that, probably could do that. But who's the protagonist? It can't be a group of boys, can it? I don't think so. So who is going to be telling this story? Who's the one boy who is the leader of this pack, who is um, probably the one who, when they get caught by Brian, is, runs the fastest, making sure that his buddies are safe behind him or whatever. But there's one, think of the query letter as um, a story that has a lens on it. So who are we following? Who are we following? It's on your shoulder and you're telling this story via the query letter. Who are we following? We know the bully, but we don't know the protagonist of this story. Um, this also is a good example of a query letter that doesn't tell you what happens. And that was also part of a discussion that we had on Saturday, where many authors believe that the synopsis, or the part of the query that is about the story that is pitched to an agent or an editor, it has to tell the complete tale, or allude to the three acts. It doesn't. In a suspense novel, what it has to do is make us feel tension. And, I think that this one does. But again, we don't know who the leader of this story is. And so I would encourage this writer to go back and recraft. And if you'd like to resubmit again, I have the guidelines for that in our newsletter, and it's $10 a resubmission, and I hope you think it's a good deal. I don't think I have any more announcements today. I am revamping my newsletter a bit, so let me know what you think about it, and please share marlamiller.com with your writerly friends, because the more peeps I have, the more I'll get the message out there. And I think it's kind of a good message, yes? It's a pretty good resource center. Until the next time, be well, keep writing.